Well, we are 1 week away from the release of the Breaking Bad movie El Camino. At least I think it's 1 week away. So I reckon there's no better time than to jump back to the original series. That's right, we're delving into the show Breaking Bad to find 10 interesting facts about the show. So put on your tidy whities, order a pizza and chuck it on someone's roof. And then come back and watch this, because if you had questions like, what does Sir Anthony Hopkins have to do with this show? What does this smiley lady here have to do with this show? And another question probably, then we got the answers for you. Oh, would you look at that? It's number 1. So, Breaking Bad is an American neo-western crime drama created by Vince Gilligan and starring Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul alongside a large fantastic cast. The show originally aired on AMC for 5 seasons starting in January of 2008 and ending in September of 2013. The show is set and shot in Albuquerque in New Mexico and tells the story of Walter White, a chemistry teacher who is way overqualified and whose life has seemed to have settled into a mundane and dull existence until he's diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer, after which Walter turns to a life of crime as he teams up with his former student Jesse Pinkman and begins producing and selling crystallized meth in order to secure his family's financial future before he dies. As the series progresses, we see Walter go from a quiet chemistry teacher to a menacing drug lord kingpin, and the progression of a good man slowly becoming a villain. Number 2. So Vince Gilligan was the mastermind behind this show. One of the main goals Vince had when developing Breaking Bad was to tell a story where the protagonist becomes the antagonist. Vince Gilligan has stated television is historically good at keeping its characters in a self-imposed status so that the shows can go on for years or even decades. When I realised this, the logical next step was to think, how can I do a show in which the fundamental drive is towards change? Gilligan believed the concept of showing the full drastic transformation of a character across the run of a television show was a risky concept and would be difficult to pitch without other powerful factors to support it, such as strong cinematography and acting. The concept emerged as Gilligan talked with his fellow X-Files writer regarding their current unemployment and joked that the solution was for them to put up a meth lab in the back of an RV and drive around the country cooking meth and making money. Ooh, it's number 3. Gilligan, after finishing writing the concept for the show and the pilot, pitched the show to Sony Pictures Television, who were instantly interested in what Gilligan had to offer. After which Sony arranged meetings with various networks, one of them being Showtime, who passed on it due to the fact that they had already begun broadcasting Weeds, a show with similarities to the premise of Breaking Bad. While his producers convinced him that the show was different enough to still be successful, Gilligan later stated that he would not have gone forward with the idea had he known about Weeds earlier. Other networks like HBO and TNT also passed on the idea, but eventually FX took interest and began initial discussions on producing the pilot. At the same time, FX had also started development of Dirt, a female-centric crime-based drama series. And with 3 existing male-centric shows already on the network, FX eventually passed up Breaking Bad for Dirt. You idiots. One of Gilligan's agents spoke to Jeremy Ellis, the director of original programming for AMC, who was looking for more original shows to add alongside their upcoming Mad Men. Ellis was intrigued and soon a meeting was set up between Gilligan, Ellis and 2 other programming executives. Gilligan was not optimistic about this meeting, fearing they would just put him off, but instead all 3 showed great interest, and the meeting ended up establishing how AMC would acquire the rights from FX and set the pilot into production. It took about a year following this meeting before Sony had set up the rights with AMC and production could start. Oh, number 4. AMC had originally ordered 9 episodes for the first season. However, the writers' strike that occurred during 2007 and 2008 meant that the production was now limited to just 7 episodes for the first season. During the first season, it was originally planned that either Jesse or Hank would be killed off, This was originally decided to give the ending of the first season a shocking and bold ending. The limited episode count within the first season meant that this decision was eventually dropped. The writer's strike also helped Gilligan and his writing team to adjust the pacing of the show, as originally it had been moving too quickly. I got 5 on it. Oh, copyright strike. The initial versions of the script were set in Riverside, California, but at the suggestion of Sony, Albuquerque was chosen for the production's location due to the favourable financial conditions offered by the state of New Mexico. Well, basically they just wanted to save some of those dollar bills. Yo. The show was shot primarily on 35mm film alongside digital cameras, which were used for additional angles, POV shots and time lapses. Breaking Bad cost roughly around $3 million per episode to produce. Oh, don't believe it, it's number 6. So the brilliantly talented Bryan Cranston plays the now iconic character of Walter White. Vince Gilligan cast Bryan Cranston in the role, having worked with him previously on an episode of The X-Files, in which Gilligan was a writer on during the episode titled Drive. Cranston played an anti-Semite with a terminal illness who took the character of Fox Mulder hostage. Gilligan said that the character had to be simultaneously loathsome and sympathetic, and that Bryan alone was the only actor who could do that, who could pull off the trick. But the big suits at AMC, however, were initially reluctant with casting choices, having known Cranston as just that dad from the Malcolm in the Middle, and so they approached actors John Cusack and Matthew Broderick about the role. Matthew Broderick as Walter White? Jesus Christ. When both actors declined, the executives were persuaded to cast Cranston after seeing his X-Files episode. Cranston contributed significantly to the formation and development of Walter White's personality. When Gilligan left much of Walter's past unexplained during the development of the series, the actor wrote his own backstory for the character. At the start of the show, Cranston gained 10 pounds to reflect the character's personal decline and had the natural red highlights of his hair dyed brown. He collaborated with the costume designer on a wardrobe of mostly neutral green and brown colours to make the character bland and unremarkable. Number 7, baby. Number 7. This is Donna Nelson. Hello, Donna. Donna is a professor of organic chemistry at the University of Oklahoma, and during the production of Breaking Bad checked this script in order to provide dialogue to help keep the science during the show as accurate as possible. Nelson also drew chemical structures and wrote chemical equations which were used as props in the show. On Donna Nelson, Vince Gilligan had said, Dr. Donna Nelson from the University of Oklahoma approached us several seasons back and said, I really like this show, and if you ever need help with the chemistry, I'd love to lend a hand. She's been a wonderful advisor. We get help wherever we need it, whether it's chemistry, electrical engineering, or physics. We try to get everything correct. There's no full-time advisor on set, but we run certain scenes by these experts first. The show also sought the help of a chemist with the DEA in Dallas to also help them out to make sure their chemistry dialogue was accurate and up to date. You wanna know a secret? It's number 8. When the characters on the show are smoking meth, they are actually smoking sugar or rock candy, but the actors don't actually inhale the smoke. The candy meth is produced by The Candy Lady, a local shop in Albuquerque. But ironically, they also sell meth. That's a joke. I don't actually know if they sell meth. They probably don't. Or maybe they do. Good heavens, number 9. After binge watching the entire show in a span of 2 weeks, Sir Anthony Hopkins wrote a glowing fan letter to Bryan Cranston, praising him and his fellow actors for their incredible acting, as well as lauding the rest of the crew, comparing the series to a great Shakespearean or Greek tragedy. I say, old chap, it's number 10. AMC was hesitant about casting Aaron Paul just as they were with Bryan Cranston, as Paul looked too old and looked too much like a pretty boy to be associated with meth cooking. However, Gilligan reconsidered Paul's skills after seeing his audition and recalling he had also had a guest star on the X-Files episode Lord of Flies. As mentioned earlier, Paul was intended to be killed off during the first season. However, Gilligan had changed his mind by the second episode after being impressed with Aaron Paul's performance and realizing that there was so much more to explore about his character. Another character that was originally set to be in only a few episodes, but then got expanded later, was the character of Gus Fring. Gus was originally supposed to appear in only 3 or 4 episodes. Giancarlo Esposito was asked to return for 7 episodes in season 3. Esposito refused to return unless he could appear in more episodes. His character was then featured much more prominently within the 3rd and 4th seasons. Well, there you go, 10 facts about Breaking Bad. Whew, we are definitely gonna have to come back to this show and look at 10 more facts, as there is so much more to choose from. But for now, let us know down below what your thoughts are on this show, and let us know what you think about this new film. Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? And if you like this and you want to see more, then why not check out our other Film Facts videos? They cover both film and TV. And if you want to help support the channel and help it grow, then please do consider subscribing and hitting the bell thingy to stay notified so you can join us for all our future shows and projects. And this October, we'll be taking a look at 10 facts about a horror film every week leading up to Halloween. So make sure you join us for them. And of course, do the like and share business if that's your cup of tea. But thanks for watching, guys.